Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you had a good day. Hope everything's going well for you. This is an unusual video. Normally, for the last couple months anyway, I've only been doing it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But today is, I believe, Thursday. Not sure. I lose track of time. But I just felt I wanted to come on and say hi. And share a few things and encourage yourselves. And how may I do that? Well, you know, I'm pretty sensitive to what's going on around me, right? So, living in England, I seen the establishment going sour. You know, one day I parked outside my own house with a new second-hand car, and apparently the lady in the Salisbury offices said, just put the card in there for now, the parking card, to say that you can park outside your own house on the street. So that's what we did. I was married then, and got a ticket for it. So go into the office and explain it to the people, and they said, no, you pay the ticket. Huh? They said do that, it'd be okay, and then you get a ticket. And that was the start of it. And then as you know, I worked in a nightclub for a while as an ejection technician. And, you know, sometimes I'd be outside and, you know, I'm like the gray man. I'd watch and not talk too much. Just watch. Don't have to always have something to say. And I would watch the way the police would interact with the people coming in and out. The way they would antagonize, trying to escalate a simple thing into something dramatic. And it can only go dramatic if you play their game. But it's the game they play. They want to escalate things, cause you more drama. Police pulling you over, finding things wrong that aren't necessarily wrong, just irritating you, you know. I believe, going past what they were originally employed to do. And, you know, so then I didn't feel comfortable in England and moved to America. And the same thing happened there. It got to the point where I just never felt comfortable. You know, I lived there and I knew some of the policemen. Friendly with them, why not? But all of a sudden, you know, and I've trained and I did bodybuilding for years and years. I don't know how many years, 15, 20 years. I trained in a gym with people who did steroids. I never did steroids because I knew it would mess my mind up, that if I got big by steroids, when you come off, you shrink fast, and that would mess me up. So I said, no, I'm not going to do it. But I trained there anyway. So I knew all the characteristics or side effects of steroids. So I watched these policemen come in, and they were of, you know, average build, and then a year later they're very big and have attitude problems. So what's the attitude? Steroid symptoms, right? Called roid rage. It's not necessarily a rage, but it's a synthetic male hormone. So what is that? It causes your mood to change, and you actually, you know, more male hormone it allows you to recover faster, you know, and it makes your appendage stand more because it's more male hormone. But it also gives you a mood, like an aggressive mood. And I watched their aggressiveness, and I'm like, dude, you're a policeman. How are you supposed to talk to people? Well, they do talk to people with that very aggressive attitude. And somebody took me to court over a lie that they fabricated. Today I've watched a few things online. I'm like, dude. But you know, today I went out on the road, and you know, it's a single lane road. Well, it's two-way, one going one way, one going the other way. And the guy comes up behind me, and I'm waiting behind this guy in front to pull out because there's traffic coming. So I seen this guy coming up behind me, and then he indicates to pull out, but he can't get past the guy in front of me because there's a car coming. So what does he do? He beeps his horn loud, and you know, well, there's only one volume on a horn, loud, and then pulls in front of me, so I have to brake hard. Excuse me. Dude, if you know you can't get in, why overtake me? If you can't get past two of us. So is this dangerous? But that's just some tiny little examples of the way I think this is what I feel. I've been thinking about this for a while. I told you the other day, I don't know if I told you, the temple across the river on New Year's morning at 5 o'clock played loud music. It was 58 decibels in the house and 62 decibels just outside the house. Loud. Woke me up. I was really angry. I thought about going over there and creating a scene just for fun. But my Uncle Bill, he was a extremely aggressive kind of guy. And I'm sure if it happened to him, he would have smashed everything. So I was talking to a friend, no names, no pack drill, and he said he had a neighbor at 6 o'clock in the morning, played really loud music. So he went next door, smashed his front door in, and smashed his stereo. I was like, I like that. But what is happening to this world? You know, we're human beings. We're supposed to be the head of the food chain. You know, I think we've lost it really when we can't communicate with each other and be polite with each other. So what's my point? Here's my point. There's people, and you know who I am, or you know who you are. There's people out there who are highly strung out, wherever you may be, of trying to deal with bureaucrats, being irritated by neighbors and police, being told you're not good enough, not feeling loved, not feeling like you belong. And if you've listened to any of my stories, you know I've told you this as a child. I never felt loved. And that, you know, if you, I've read a lot of studies about this. I wish I didn't have to, but I did. The Jesuits say, give us a kid up until the age of 7. And basically what they're saying is we'll brainwash them to be anything you want them to be. And I think about my father, you know, he was in an orphanage at 9, and his two younger brothers, my uncles, were in at a very young age. Their mom died when he was 9. And, you know, they suffered a lot of abuse. And he turned into an alcoholic. And I mean drunk 7 days a week, alcoholic, and abusive, physically, you know. And I'll just tell you straight, my sister used to tell lies, and he would beat me. She thought that was funny. Needless to say, we have no relationship today. But still, this is what the world we're living in. And I'm thinking, one of the reasons why I feel I don't belong here is because, you know, how I live. I live here in the middle of nowhere. I call it paradise. I'm building a waterfall. For why? Because there's a thing I just learned, a couple weeks ago, called biophilic, which means to have a yearning for nature, to want to see nature, to develop nature. And that means like living in a jungle, eating well from the land, watching the birds and whatever around you. To be like, you know, Walden. I knew a lady in America who was a librarian, and she said that when I talk, it reminds her of Walden, about when he lived in the woods and so on. So she gave me the book. That's the first I heard of him. But anyway, the point is, somehow we have to stand up, pull our shoulders back, don't get angry, but get firm and just say enough is enough. And don't be beaten down to feel inferior, because you are not inferior. You are precious, you know. You're one of a kind. There's only one of you in the whole universe. You know, your DNA is completely different from anybody who's been here or coming in the future. You are totally unique. And if you get into the spiritual side of things, you know, what's the difference between somebody who's dead and alive when the spirit leaves? You know, they say if you weigh somebody, if you like for instance, I haven't heard this, but this is what I'm told, right? Just for an instance, if you're laying on a bed that's a scale and somebody passes, they pass away, die, right? Shortly after, when the spirit leaves, the body's actually a physical weight lighter, like it's a pound or something, so many ounces people say it is. This is what scientists are saying. So when the spirit leaves the body, it actually has a physical weight. And then what's left behind, this goes back to the earth. You know, I think in Christianity it says ashes to ashes, right? Which means you come from the ashes, come from the food your parents ate, and you eat your food, which sustains life. When your spirit leaves, you go back to the ground. But while you're here, you're 100% unique, and you're here for a reason, and there's nothing wrong with being loved. So while we don't all get loved the way we wished in the beginning or now, you know, I could talk about this for probably 2 hours straight and bore you to death, but I wanted to say you are totally unique, and you're here for a reason. So don't be the one that's hiding somewhere. I mean, I'm hiding somewhere because I don't want to deal with people, but I'm not going to let people walk on me. So I just wanted to encourage you to say, no more. Just leave me alone. Let me live my life. If you don't want to love me, that's okay, but let me live my life. And if you have somebody to love you, cherish them and enjoy. You know, it's not about having money. It's about waking up in the morning and being able to smile, to be happy, naturally happy. Just for what? To be happy. You don't need things to make you happy. If you have simple, healthy food, and you can get your mind right, and you have a healthy body, you have someone to care for, they care for you, you're rich. It doesn't matter if you have billions in the bank, you're rich. Buckets of blessings, rivers of peace, joy, and kindness. And because I felt like saying this today, I hug you. Good night.